This is Sampath reading Rule of Majority, People's Democracy, Model Constitution and Constitutional Principles, Part 13, Property, for Dr. Emani Sita Ramam and Ms. Emani Surya Prabha. Article 17, Property. 1. Citizens only shall acquire property in land of the nation and its fixed assets from the previous owners, by way of purchase for proper consideration, or by inheritance as a direct descendant, or by alienation with free consent of the previous owner. 2. Every member of a family shall have equal right in the property of the parents and a right proportionate to the share of the member in other ancestral property and a right in the property acquired by alienation after the death of the previous owners. 3. Every member of a family shall have a right proportionate to the contribution of the member in the property acquired by way of purchase or exchange with such property. 4. Government of the nation, of every state and of every municipality shall have a right and duty to own and develop property as public property for needs and advantage of people domiciled in the respective territories. 5. All the property which is not owned by legal right by any citizen shall be the public property of the municipality in which such property situate. 6. Any sale or alienation or lease for more than a predetermined period of public property to any person is null and void. 7. Lease of public property to any citizen for a specified purpose and period may be approved or renewed on revised terms by agreement with this Constitution. 8. Any acquisition by the government of the nation or of a state of a municipality of any property or rights in any property as public property for a specified need shall be null and void unless the previous owner of the property is compensated to the satisfaction of his choice by market value of the property or by similar property of similar value in exchange. Article 18. Records of property. 1. Government of the nation, of every state, and of every municipality shall maintain and update the records of the land, fixed assets, and things of value in the territory thereof, survey records of the land and fixed assets, manufacturer and identity for things of value, title of ownership, total development money and or purchase money, and models of transfer of title from previous owners of the property. 2. Government of a municipality shall identify the landed property and fixed assets in the territorial constituencies of the municipality and shall convey the property to its owner or legal heir on application and payment of prescribed fee. Article 19. Things of value. 1. All the property underlying the ocean within the territorial water or the continental shelf or exclusive economic zone of the nation shall be the property of the nation. 2. The limits of the territorial waters, the continental shelf, the exclusive economic zone, and other maritime zones of the nation shall be such as may be specified from time to time by or under any law made by the Parliament of the nation. Every person is well aware that he cannot live forever, and the essential requisites for happy life are very few. A home to live in, food to eat, a spouse for the continuation of progeny, pleasant environs, and a small group of people to share needs and deeds. Yet the greed for property is responsible for majority issues and disputes in life and courts of law. People shall develop relations of affection and harmony that shall continue unabandoned only when their right to property is properly regulated. Personal property in fixed assets. Any person domiciled in the nation can acquire property or rights in any property by agreement with this Constitution only. Citizens only can acquire property in land of nation and in fixed assets thereof. Any citizen can transfer his ownership title in land and fixed assets to his offspring by agreement with this Constitution. Any citizen can transfer his ownership title in the land or fixed assets acquired by purchase to any other citizen by sale or alienate to any other citizen caring and living with him. Transfer by sale of the property is absolute, and all rights of the owner in the property shall be transferred to the next owner at the time of sale by agreement with this Constitution. Rights of the owner in the property shall continue until his death, even after transfer of ownership title to the offspring or alienation to any other citizen. The rights of the owner shall continue after conversion with his consent in the newly acquired property to the extent of contribution by his property. Any person responsible for the death of the owner by intention cannot claim any right in his property even with ownership title by transfer or alienation, and is liable for the crime. The property of the deceased under such ownership title or claim, and the property of the persons responsible for his death shall be declared as public property of the territory. Public property in fixed assets. All the land and fixed assets which are not under legal hold of any person by agreement with this Constitution shall be the public property of the territory. Any land and or fixed assets conveyed to any person by or on government order for less than estimated market value after a relevant date decided by the Parliament, which is not in use or not in specified use, or for which specified use was not declared in the documents, shall be recovered and declared as public property of the territory. Any government cannot acquire any land under the legal hold of any person for any specified public use unless that person is compensated to his satisfaction with market value or with similar public land of similar value. That person shall have a right to choose the market value or any of the similar public lands offered by the government by agreement with this Constitution. Any government cannot sell or convey any public property to any person. Public land or property may be offered to any citizen on lease or a specified use for a limited period, and the lease may be renewed on revised terms by agreement with this Constitution. Records of property in fixed assets. The government of the nation and the governments of states and municipalities shall maintain and update survey records of land and fixed assets in their territories and records of ownership titles of such properties by agreement with this Constitution. If the records are lost for any reason in any of the three governments, they shall be retrieved from the records of other governments. Government of the municipality shall be responsible to every person to identify the land and fixed assets which are under his legal hold in this territory and to convey to him on application and payment of the prescribed fee to the satisfaction of the applicant and other persons who have property in the neighborhood. Records of things of value which are not fixed assets. Governments of municipalities, states, and the nation shall register the identification details of things of value in their territories which are not fixed assets and update the records of ownership acquired by agreement with this Constitution. These records shall be helpful for the police when investigating the crimes related to such things of value with or without possible conversion. Public property in things of value. All the property underlying the ocean within the territorial waters or the continental shelf or the exclusive economic zone of the nation shall be the property of the nation. This property shall be utilized for the common interests of the nation or of different territories to the extent of their estimated shares.